Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. I made a video like this before, talking about social media, but I privatized like all those videos. So I'm going to be talking about social media again in this video, but it's going to be completely different on what I was talking about in my other video. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows social media can be a bad thing. That's why it is good to take breaks from social media and stuff like that, but in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about like the impact that it really can have on somebody. Like, for me personally, if you are not in a good headspace, if you are not where you need to be with God, then social media 100% is definitely going to like impact you in a negative way. Like, I know both sides of this. Like, social media can be a good thing as well, but it can also be a very damaging thing, because what are you doing on social media? You're constantly scrolling and you're constantly, either you recognize it or you don't, but you're comparing yourself to somebody else, and because that's all you're being pushed. Once you're on social media, that's all that you're being pushed. You're constantly seeing somebody else, you're constantly seeing other people's things, you're constantly filled with other people's lives. So how could you not compare yourself? You know what I'm saying? So obviously that's a downside, and leads to covetousness and all that type of stuff. But when we're doing that, obviously that's going to impact us a lot, especially the younger you are. Like, that's really, really, really going to have an impact on you. And I know firsthand, because I got on social media when I was like really young. I had to be like, I don't know, maybe like 11 or 12. And it does have an impact on you. Like, it really does. It can be used in like a good way, but it can also be used in a really like damaging way too, especially if you're not where you need to be with God. And I guess the purpose of this video is to warn, but also to like let people know as well. Like, God tells us to be vigilant and like sober minded. So it's like, it's good to be aware of what you're doing while you're scrolling. Like, while you're on social media, it's good to be aware of, wow, I really am like comparing myself to this person, or being aware of who you're following and why you're following them. Because like I've said, like, social media can be a good thing if you're using it to promote God and you're using it to wake other people up, but it can also be a very damaging thing. And another thing I wanted to talk about is like, it's gonna sound crazy, but like, I mean, I don't know if guys would know, but like the claw clip like hairstyle, I don't know who started that, but it seems like every girl is having that, like, is wearing that. Like, I'm starting to notice how often I'm seeing it, and it all started from social media, obviously. But once I'm seeing it more and more, like when I'm out, I'm like, dang, social media really does have an impact on so many people. And obviously, since it is so many people, it's not all going to have a good impact, and it's not always going to have a bad impact, but it's more than likely going to have a negative impact, because most people are not following God. Most people are doing their own thing. And it's just crazy seeing how social media has an impact on this world. You know what I'm saying? And who is the ruler of this world? We already know that it's Satan, obviously, but it just shows like that can really make somebody. You know what I'm saying? So if you are not right, in your walk with God, that social media definitely is going to negatively like impact you. And I feel like God was wanting me to tell a little bit about like my experience, because that is something that I struggle with. So I never want to come on here and like act like I'm better than anybody, and act like I'm perfect and act like I don't compare myself, because I definitely do. Like, that it's it's almost like impossible not to when you're on social media. Like, that's all you're being fed, so it's like, how do you not do it, right? So that's why it's really, really good to like take breaks and stuff like that from social media. I've took breaks from it, but then I've realized, like, once I come back on social media, it's harder, and it gets harder and harder to take breaks from it the longer you're on it. And obviously that's not good, but it's good to clear your mind and like get back into the real world, because I mean, it's obvious, like, social media definitely is an escape from reality, because most of it is lies. Like, anybody can post anything they want on social media, and whoever is viewing it, whoever is taking it in, doesn't know if it's the truth or not. You know what I'm saying? Which is a very bad thing, because that means lies are going to be constantly promoted, and that's obviously that's not good, you know? Especially because there's so many children, there's so many young people that are just constantly taking it in and are on it like so much. Because I know when I first got on social media, that's basically all that I was on. Like, I know it had a really big impact on me, which is why this video, why this is why like topics like this like kind of hit home, because I know social media really did have such a big impact on me. So I guess, like, I feel like God was wanting me to make this video because it is important. It is important to be aware of what you're doing while you're on social media, and, you know, who you're following, and the reasons, you know, the reason on why you are on social media, but the reasons on why you're following who you're following, and just to be aware and just to be conscious of like what you're doing, and just being conscious of like what you're entertaining, basically. It's not, I don't want to come on here and act like some conspiracist and being like, oh, nobody should have social media. I definitely think like social media can be a good thing, you know, depending on how you're using it. It definitely can be a good thing. Technically, this is social media, but I think it can be way more of a bad thing than a good thing. Like, I feel like Instagram, Snapchat, and stuff like that, especially Twitter, like, that can all be way more bad than it is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? But again, I just wanted to, this video isn't long. I just wanted to come on here and, you know, do what God wants me to do and let people know kind of the truth, because I feel like this is something that God had to like kind of wake me up on, like kind of shake me and be like, you're comparing yourself to this person, like you're constantly going back on social media, and this is something that I still struggle with. Like, I don't want to come on here and act like, oh, like this is just something I've completely overcome. This is something that I still struggle with, like, which is why I need to start taking breaks again. This is something that, like, you know, I definitely struggle with, and I know I'm not gonna speak for guys, because I'm not a guy or anything, but I feel like more women struggle with, you know what I'm saying, because of what's all promoted in social media, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely good to be aware of what you're taking in and the impact that it's having on you. But yeah, like, this is a really quick video, but I do feel like it is important. So just be aware and like keep God first, because if you keep God first, God is going to let you know what you're doing and why you're doing it and what you need to be doing. But yeah, again, I just want to say, be aware, please be aware, and especially if you're younger, like just be aware, and be aware of what you're taking in and what you're feeding into. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.